Okay, we're ready to start coding. And again, this all you should be able to do yourself. I have from my problem statement, let's go back to that. My problem statement, I have my markups, the original cost, the markup rate, and the final price are up here, but I'm missing two. How about that? So I also need Crazy Rich, Control C, Control V, and I also need Opulent Zip, Control C, Control V. All right, and that doesn't stretch out too bad. So I have comma space, comma space. I'm missing a space here. Too much spaces there. Okay, that's good. All right, so there are all my math and input. Here I have all my markups. Then I have my input. I have my math, and I have my document rights. I can actually run this now and have it work. So let's try that. If I do 100, no, no, uh-oh. So the markup, the original is 100. I should mark it up 100. So this should be 200, but you can see it's 100, 100. It's joining, it's not adding. So we need to use our parse int. So right after our first input here, I'm going to do conversion. So anytime it starts joining, we have to get we have to use parse int. So Control C, Control V, parse int, open and close parentheses, semicolon. And what are we going to put in there? Well, the same thing. Control C, Control V. So what it's going to do is going to bring in, let's make this better. And let's make this no. That's why we put it in default value, so we don't have to keep typing, you know. All right, so now let's go ahead and try it again after putting that parse in. So this 100 text is going to be put here, changed into a binary number, and now it's going to be binary 100. And then we preview it and go 100, no, no. There you go. All right, so that works out perfect. So we know that the math is all working. So now we have to start making decisions. And what's the first decision we're going to make is this one right here. Control C, Control V, and then we JavaScripticize it. So I'm going to add a parenthesis here, and then here I'm going to add a semicolon, and then we have our braces. So I'm going to have a start brace, start high price, and then down here I'm going to have a close brace, stop high price. So I don't need an else. If I have an if and it opens and close braces, I can now check this by putting 10,000 in here, no, no, and that should give me that 5 times. So let's go take a look. No, no. So 10,000 plus 50,000 is 60,000. That's working. All right, and then the next thing we have, so I can do else if crazy rich, but let's go ahead and take a look at the flow chart and see how that should be actually programmed. So you can see it's going to be an else and then an input and then that. So let's do that. So we're going to say else, and this is going to be start not high cost, and then end. Always put your braces together. End not high cost. And inside this else, we're going to have that decision. So, and let's go back. There's no sense in us typing it, right? Let's go back to our problem statement. If crazy rich, Control C. Oh, I'm missing something. Let's leave a space, Control V. All right, so this is going to have to be moved over. And we need the crazy rich question to come down here. So again, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to comment it out. So if things go to heck in a handbasket, I can always uncomment it. All right, so now we have, if it's not true, then we have that. And again, we have to JavaScripticize this. So we have a parenthesis, equal, equal, close parenthesis, and then start crazy rich. I know I misspelled that, but that's okay. Trying to make this not a 30-minute video. And then close, stop, crazy. I just want to do crazy rich. So I'm stopping and starting each one. That's why it's good that you stop this one down here right away before putting anything else in it, so I know where those are supposed to go. And looks good. So now we're going to say it's going to be $100 and yes to crazy rich. All right, and opulent no. So preview, $100, opulent no, crazy yes, and you can see 3 times as much, so it's 400. So that works. So now we're going to have to do the same thing. Instead of doing an else if, we're going to have to do an else. So where are we going to put that? We can't put it after this because that'd be an else else. Has to be in here. So after crazy rich, then we're going to have an else. Start not crazy rich. And then stop not crazy rich. Okay. Okay, then in here, we're going to have this question. So again, I'm going to copy this. Ooh, after adding a semicolon to it. All right, I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to go ahead and comment that out because we don't need it up there anymore. Put it down here. All right, and now we can go ahead and grab this. This was not right anyway. This should be else if. There we go. See, I find mistakes all the time. Control C. And then Control V. And move this over. And then a brace. Start opulent. And see what this is not where this is how it should go. Okay, that looks better. And then here, stop brace, stop opulent. All right, now we have all our stops and starts. You can see how complicated it is with the braces. So that's why you want to do it my method. Build and test, build and test. If you try to type all this and you left a brace out somewhere, you'd have no idea where that problem is. So let's go next. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have is no to crazy rich. And yes to opulent. And let's preview it. So opulent. Wait a minute, is this right? Crazy rich is 3. Yeah. 3, 5, 3, 2. That's how it should go. All right. And we'll preview it. Look at that. I had made a mistake on line 32. See, I forgot. You're probably screaming at the video, Mr. Brady, where are your braces? And how come you're not doing equal, equal? And that's because just like you, I get excited and I want to test it and get this thing over with. All right, now let's go ahead and test it again. So we got 100, no, yes. And you can see the zip code is twice as much. So we're going to take the $100 original cost and mark it up to $300. So it's all working. So let's test one more time to make sure that everything works. And we're going to change this to no. And test it one last time to make sure nothing broke. So 100 cost, no crazy rich, no opulent zip code. And you can see now we went back to that 1-to-1. So if it's $100, we mark it up $100, so we charge them $200 for it. And you can see now this is working perfectly. And hopefully you can see how that build and test methodology takes a very complicated problem with a bunch of braces in it. And again, if you take your time and always do the stop brace as soon as you do the start brace, you won't forget the stop brace. If you forget the stop brace, it's a pain in the neck. In fact, let's go ahead. I'm going to move these comments to here. I'm going to comment out this. Now that doesn't exist anymore. And let's see what happens. On line 46, it says there should be a stop brace. Let's take a look at where that is. What? It wants me to put a stop brace here. And it should be right there. Well, what happened is when it's missing a stop brace, it moves this stop brace to here to stop that. And then this stop brace to stop here. But that other stop brace now needs to come down here. And if I put it where it says to put it, which is right there, it's going to break my problem. So let's go ahead and break our problem and see how that works. So it told me to put it there. When I preview it, it says it's fine. So let's do 10,000 and see what happens. What? Nothing. There's nothing here. What happened? Well, it said that it went here and did this, but this right here is trapped in here. The only time this document write will happen is if it's an opulent zip. Other than that, it won't happen. And that's really a very frustrating problem, which is why you have to be careful with your braces. But if you do stop and start, like I do here, and you do your braces together, you always do a stop brace after doing a stop brace without doing any other code, and comment them just like this. So I can go through and try to match up, stop, start, stop, start, stop. This way, if I made a mistake, I'll be able to catch it, because that thing telling me I need to put it at the very bottom of my code is always wrong. It's always wrong. So never fall for that trap. All right, so that's it. And on to the next problem.